Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Shaka Hislop's with us, Aage Fjortoft. Look at Shaka's lovely background.
Yeah, what's happened, Shaq?
It's fancy. I've got a fancy new setup.
I was getting used to the lamps in the background.
I have a new background. I have another excuse for my background because my parents are here. So where I have my in the guest room, so they are sleeping because we are over midnight here now. So they are sleeping in my studio.
Aw, his parents in town. Lovely stuff. All right.
Very thoughtful, Ariane.
Yeah, I wonder if Shaka's got AC in that new studio setup of his. All right, for the boys, now that Kai Havertz is officially going to Arsenal, where do you see him playing in the starting 11? Or is he just cover for Jesus and Shaka?
Yeah. I don't, well, look, he might change the shape of the team. I don't know. I can see him playing in a few positions, but only if those players that you mentioned, Martinelli, he's definitely, let's get the one thing straight. He's definitely not getting in the team ahead of Shaka. Right. 100%. Now, we can maybe debate the other two, maybe, but definitely not Shaka. Unlikely Martinelli and unlikely Jesus. So, make it up what you will.
Yeah, all right.
Well, we discussed it. Craig doesn't rate this player as much as I do. I think that this is a great signing. It's a very smart signing. I said that in the show as well. And I think when you see Arsenal, the way Arteta is playing, he's very flexible in the way of playing. So I think that Kai Havertz can play in different positions. So I think that Arteta wouldn't sit down with Kai Havertz and say, this is where I want you to play. And maybe Kai Havertz will say that I would love to have a clear position because he's been a bit around at Chelsea as well, but never underestimate a good coach. I think that Arteta will coach this player. He will educate this player for him to take the next step as the expectation was when he came from Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay, reminder to Shaka on how he was saying Chelsea will struggle to offload players because clubs knew we needed to sell. Any thoughts now? Well, they've definitely got lucky, haven't they, Shaka, with the sudden presence, this growing presence of the Saudi Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, nobody anticipated Saudi Arabia spending the kind of money that they did. They thought, well, certainly I thought it would be limited to the likes of Ronaldo, who we saw earlier this year, and maybe Messi, but not the kind of wholesale spending. Other than that, they've come down to meet everybody's price. So it's as expected in that Chelsea need money, clubs know that Chelsea need money, and Chelsea are dropping their price accordingly. That's, you know, if you're just dropping your price, even though you're getting rid of players, that's not ideal either. You know, so I don't see the point of the question.
Not dropping Mount's price.
No, but that's, I mean, well, not yet. But look.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
If Saudi Arabia have got a vested interest in the ownership of Chelsea and they're buying the players to aid the financial fair play, and I'm not saying they are, that's a different story. But if Saudi Arabia are just buying players for their league or whatever it is, and they're spending money, why are there plums in England saying, oh, they're inflating the transfer market? The Premier League has been inflating the transfer market since Sky Sports first came into the market as the television broadcaster in 1992. When all the money started pouring into the game, they completely took away at the knees, Italy, Spain, Germany and others. So I get it. If there's another story here with connections and interests and money going a certain way for a certain reason, that's a different matter. But if they want to go and buy Benzema or get Benzema, and they want to go and get Ronaldo, and they want to go and try and get Messi, and they want to sign 3 Chelsea players, they want to sign that, and there's no vested interest in that football club, that's their business. And it's not up to some people in England to whine and moan about inflated prices when every other club in Europe is saying, we can't compete. We can't compete with the Premier League because they're inflating the prices. Double standards again. I mean, I'm not a big fan of going to Saudi Arabia and play, but that's part and parcel.
Are you a fan of plums?
Plums? There's a lot of plums around, actually, to be quite frank with you. That's a new word, plums.
Can I?
You want this show to last all night, you, Jan. Go on.
No, that was Shaka.
Oh, it was Shaka.
Yeah.
Shaka wanted the show to last all night.
No,
you know why?
just
Because he sat in the comfort of his own home.
I don't mind if it lasts all night. I've got my fancy background. Listen, to add to what Craig was saying, that's the exact same complaint that well, certainly the English clubs had when PSG bought Neymar. That PSG inflated the market and probably did change the market, but all the English clubs seem to be doing all right. You know, I mean, even after that inflation of the market. So, it's very self-protecting, the complaints from the English clubs now.
Okay, guys, who was your most favourite coach during your playing days and why? Do you still keep in touch with him? Jan?
That's a good question. Played in 4 different countries. I started with Hans Krankel. At the time, he was 36. He just finished his career. He was in his generation in the 70s, beginning of the 80s. He was a fantastic striker. So for me, maybe not as the coach in terms of strategy, tactic and everything, but for me to start my professional career abroad with Hans Krankel was fantastic. I learned so much of him. He was so eager to learn me all the tricks that he have learned during his career for Rapid Vienna and Barcelona, winning the European Cup there. He played fantastic in '78 at the World Cup. So I will stick to Hans Krankel. And yes, I gave close contact with him. He just finished his 70. I went to Austria, was a part of a TV special for him. They celebrated him. So I will stick to Hansi.
Thank God for Hansi Krankel. You know why?
Why?
Because we always used to say, if you had a bad ankle, I've got a bad Hansi Krankel.
With the rhyming slang.
What's up with you? Oh, we've got a dodgy Hansi Krankel.
So many good ones.
Thank God for Hansi Krankel.
Yep. What about your favourite coach?
But I mean, just the English love that. I remember you did the warm-up, Fred Astaire, and then you did some movements, open the gate. I mean, the English, they had different, and their Hans Krankel was one. It's typical English to have those kind of words and expressions for everything we did in training.
Well, I moved to London when I was 16, so I got all the Cockney rhymes from my the family that I stayed with. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, they were all pretty good. I enjoy working for Glenn at Chelsea, Glenn Hoddle. But my 2 favourites would be, and I enjoy playing for Craig Brown at Scotland. Stevie would hate that. My favourites were Jim Smith and Wim Jansen, the Dutch guy. But unfortunately, they're both no longer with us. But I just loved playing for them, particularly Wim, because I think you always enjoy it more when it's successful. And that Celtic side I played in with Lambert and Larsson and Stubbs and all the guys, too many to name, was just such a good side. And so yeah, I kind of always gravitated back to and Jim was fantastic, just a character, just different people. Wim was quiet, wasn't really a baller or a shouter. Jim was a screamer. Jim was a screamer. Lose the plot, Monday morning, all forgotten, good as gold. So fun times.
Did you keep in touch with them when they were still alive, though? After
I spoke to we had a couple of reunions at Celtic, and then I got a friend, Neil Sillett, who Dad John Sillett used to be manager of Coventry. Neil used to keep me up to date with Jim and how he was getting on. I didn't see him for years, didn't see him for a long time. Obviously, he moved to Spain, I think, before he died. So, but great characters in the game, you know. And Shaka worked with. I couldn't believe Shaq played for Portsmouth and Jim was Harry's assistant, because, I mean, it must have been
assistant.
Shaq, that must have been so funny.
It was so good. I mean, typical old school coach. And then I think because Jim was Harry's assistant, he was just so much more off the cuff, so much more relaxed. He is so much fun. Craig's right. You cannot speak highly enough of Jim Smith, and which brings me to Harry Redknapp, who certainly is my favourite club coach, having played for him twice at West Ham and then again Portsmouth. I thought Harry got the best out of me professionally. But then you look at so many coaches over the course of their career that have meant different things to you. Bertel Sinclair from Tobago, who I still regard as a father figure to me in the game, is one of my first and dearest coaches. And then to the second part of the question, I haven't spoken to Harry probably for about 18 months. I think I last spoke to him. Bertel probably, I went to look for Bertel Sinclair last time I was in Tobago, which was back in October of last year. But it was a Sunday and he went out to church, so I missed him, and I was getting a flight back later that afternoon, so I wasn't able to see Bertel, sadly.
Yeah. All right.
Shucks.
Which of these Frank Leboeuf predictions makes you laugh the most? Canada going to the semi-final in Qatar, or Julian Alvarez being his favourite to win the Ballon d'Or?
Hold on. When did this Julian Alvarez one pop up?
I think I missed that one too.
That was yesterday.
No,
that was yesterday.
Was that yesterday? I mean, Frank, yeah. I got to say, his World Cup predictor bracket was an absolute classic. It was a belter. It wasn't just Canada. There was some. It was who was it? Canada were Denmark.
Yes.
The semi-final was
Denmark.
The semi-final was Canada-Denmark, and then he sat there and tried to rationale his reasoning why this was going to happen. And like, that was a belter. So I'm going for the bracket.
Yeah, what is so great with Frank, when you work with Frank, sometimes you have an opinion and then he works backwards. He's unbelievable. I love the way he's doing that, because, I mean, he got so much knowledge and he got so much fantasy and he goes backwards. And I think these two predictions kind of symbolize that.
Yeah, I think he's taken a bit of the pressure off some of Don's recent takes there.
We should just, we really should, whenever there's predictions or a Ballon d'Or, or we should just really all have all the guys and girls in the side, and we just should have Don and Frank to sit here and see who can come up with the most ridiculous.
Facing one another, like a little face-off. There are two heads there, like chess.
Did you see Don's picture this morning?
Get his beaver.
Did you see Don's picture? I mean, Don was at the United States Embassy in London. I didn't know you had to queue up for an Esther. I'm
laughing at how he dressed for it, though. He usually dressed a little bit smart to go to the embassy, right? Just in a tracksuit.
Was he? Yeah. I hope when he got there they said we're denying your work visa purely on your fashion sense.
Well, at least he's getting his visa now.
It was a big queue. Is he getting it?
Well, hope
stamped, done. Hutchinson.
And then we'll get him in the studio here, so we can grill him even more. Actually, talking about fun stuff, I heard you've been up to a few more things, Aage Fjortoft, and it's not chasing fish. What have you been up to?
No. With the Crown Prince family in Norway, this is since 2014, we were working with disabled teams. And look at our dressing room today. What a dressing room we have in their residence of the Crown Prince family. This is the 8th time we've done this, and it's the Crown Prince family playing with the Crown Prince, Crown Princess. And look at me getting an assist from Martin Ødegaard. What a goal. I was a playing coach. No fish inside. There was a lot of rain actually these 2 hours, but what a goal. I mean, if I had played with Martin Ødegaard, I would have scored more than Haaland, 100%.
Oh, nice stuff. That's great to see. And although that was a very plush background you had earlier today, and now look at you. You've dropped your standards a little bit because your mum and dad are in town. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Good point.
Okay. Start, bench and sell. Jose Mourinho, Rafa Benitez, Arsene Wenger. Shaka.
Oh, man, that's a difficult one.
Shaka, you can start us off.
Ooh.
I start Jose Mourinho. I bench Arsene Wenger and drop Rafa Benitez.
What do you mean you start Mourinho? Is that because of the latest form of Mourinho, or do I misunderstand this, Shaka?
Well, come on, Jan. I know, but you can't deny that man's had a lot of success.
Yes, I'm a big fan of Mourinho.
Champions League.
Yes, I'm a Mourinho fan, big time. But I was just afraid that I misunderstood it. If that was just your opinion of Shaka, fair enough. But if I can then start, Craig, if you mind, then I will say Wenger. Wenger start, bench Mourinho, and sell Benitez. Wenger is, for me, yes, at the end of the Arsenal career, didn't do well, but how many teams did he make at Arsenal? The best manager of these three.
I know, but he's won the... Mourinho and his pomp.
Yeah.
Mourinho and his pomp.
Yeah.
You want to chat? You want a UEFA Cup, and next with Porto, and the next year won the Champions League with Porto. Yeah. Then won the Champions League at AC Milan.
And then won it again with Inter.
I know what you mean. It's kind of, people look at Mourinho now and you remember the recent years, don't you? Mm-hmm. You don't remember.
He was fantastic. Yeah, but he was fantastic. Absolutely.
All we know is Benitez is getting benched. He's getting benched.
Yeah.
We know that.
I think that was pretty much universal among the panel.
Yeah.
All right, for Shaka, Messi is the GOAT. Glad you've accepted it.
Glad you've accepted it.
Any comments, Shaka?
Yes. Yes,
he's accepted.
That's all I got.
All right. For Jan,
it was interesting when Mbappé said, do I deserve... Was that a quote? Do I deserve the Ballon d'Or? I would say yes. What a quote that was, wasn't it? I love that.
It's funny you say that.
Where did that come from?
It's funny you say that.
He said he meets the criteria. I did a hit for digital this morning with Matt Donaldson, and I went off. I haven't seen it. I won't watch it back, obviously. But I went off and
you can see it on YouTube, though, everyone.
Partly, yeah. I went off on a rant about Mbappe. I mean, it was like off the cuff, ad lib, I actually hope he doesn't win it. I sincerely hope he doesn't win it, because he thinks he deserves it. He thinks he's going to win it. Talks about himself in the third person.
Yeah, but he won't win it. We all know that Messi will win it ahead of Haaland, and Mbappe will be third. We know that.
I hope he's third. I do hope he's third. I'm repeating what I did digitally, but I really do hope he's third. Purely because I want to see his big baby reaction.
If you would like the full reaction from Craig Burley, make sure to check out.
No, but he's an egotistical. He's turned into an egotistical. He's turned into an egotistical maniac. Somebody needs to de-inflate his head, right? They do. Mbappe. And I heard all this about the hat trick in the World Cup and all this. Why was Olivier Giroud taken off in the World Cup? In the first half, the embarrassment. Because France were getting horsed. And one of the reasons they were getting horsed is because he refuses, Mbappe that is, to chase back. He told Deschamps. Ask Julien Laurens. Deschamps is aware. Kylian doesn't chase back. He's too good. Too good. And he got away with it against England. He got away with it. He was lucky because he got outplayed. So all this spiel about Mbappe, oh, he does this, he does... I get it. Great talent. Thinks he's way above everybody else in his team.
I love it. I love it when Craig
is going with Mbappe. We'll send Craig.
He just thinks he's way above it. Against Argentina in the first half, good luck, lads. I don't have to chase back. I'm killing Mbappe. Didier, take Giroud off. I'll go in the middle. I'll stand through in the middle, and I'll just stand up there. And when I get the ball, I might do a little bit.
Merci.
I hope he finishes third.
I really like Kylian Mbappe.
You like him?
For Jan, are Germany becoming the new Italy?
Yes. Germany are terrible at the moment. This is crisis. They have invented a new headline in Germany now. Flickkrise. Flick crisis. They are useless. Rudi Völler went out after the loss against Colombia. It is not about Colombia. Colombia deserved to win that game, but they have been terrible. And they're playing them to They got a Euro 2024, will be in Germany. Everybody know that will be a great event, great stadiums. There will be a great enthusiasm around the team. But Germany are so sad at the moment. And mind you, they were sad at the 2 last World Cups. And now they don't find any players. Rudi Völler went out and said, coming into September, there are so many players we will fire. They're talking now, should they get Nagelsmann in for a short time coaching stuff before the Euros? I've said, could they get Klopp in to do it just part-time to get the enthusiasm? Flick is in trouble. Germany are in trouble. This is not good. September coming, Flick, if you don't turn this around, you can find yourself without a job coming October.
Yeah.
No, it will be a great tournament in Germany. I mean, it's got so many great stadiums.
And you're going to get to see Kylian Mbappe on the big stage again?
Not chasing back. But I have to be honest, when Euro 2024 comes around and it's in Germany, there is a good case that Derek Ray will have to be muted. Just for that tournament alone. Just for 6 weeks.
I'm not kidding.
Derek, we love him to bits, but he's going to be Derek Ray on steroids when that tournament's on. We're going to have the German word for everything. Everything. You know what I mean? It's going to be unbearable.
Craig, you're having a go. You're having a go at Mbappe and Derek Ray.
Yeah.
Where is the strategy?
I'm just saying.
The strategy?
I'm just saying. Just rein in the German stuff a little bit. But when it gets to the Euros, it's going to be full blown. He'll be. I'm not saying it.
I think next season, you should get in the booth and do a Bundesliga game with him. I think you'd do great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Good idea, Kate.
Trust me. Listen, I put myself forward for that. Yeah. That's the super sub. I put myself forward every week, as you well know.
For Bundesliga, you should come join us.
Well, to be fair, I hear the meetings are fantastic.
Oh, they're wonderful. All right, last part of this one was Craig.
How many people are we going to get in trouble today for this?
No, I know, and you let Italy go there.
Italy, who are they?
For Craig Uderman. Okay. You have got a fancy. Yeah. Probably not a Kylian Mbappe fan or Italian, but...
Well, he is. He's a big-time Charlie, isn't he? Mbappe.
All right, that'll do it for the latest edition. We'll be back to do it all again tomorrow. Craig will still be ranting about Kylian Mbappe.
I'm off tomorrow. I'll save it till Friday.
Oh, God.
Au revoir, Craig. Au revoir.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.